You are already dead. I know that sounds impossible. You're reading this right now. You're breathing. You're thinking. But stay with me, because what I'm about to tell you isn't a metaphor. It isn't philosophy. It's physics. And physics is about to do something to your sense of self that you won't recover from easily. I'm Leonard Susskind. I've spent 50 years working on the deepest problems in theoretical physics: black holes, quantum mechanics, the nature of space-time. And the more I've learned, the more one uncomfortable truth keeps emerging from the mathematics. The version of you that exists right now, the one you're completely certain about, the one that feels undeniably real and present, that version might already be gone. Not dying, not fading, already gone. And the physics that proves it is some of the most solid, most tested, most rigorously confirmed science we have. Let me start with something you can verify right now. Look at your hand. What you're seeing is not your hand as it exists in this moment. You're seeing your hand as it existed a fraction of a second ago. Light takes time to travel from your hand to your eye. It's an incredibly tiny delay, nanoseconds, but it's real. And it means you have never, not once in your entire life, seen anything as it actually is right now. You have only ever seen the past. Now, extend that thought. When someone across the room looks at you, they're seeing you as you were a few nanoseconds ago. When someone looks at you from across the city, they're seeing you as you were microseconds ago. The further away the observer, the further into your past they're looking. This is not a philosophical abstraction. This is the measured, confirmed, experimentally verified behavior of light. The universe has a speed limit. And that speed limit means that every observation, every perception, every moment of seeing is already a glimpse into history. But now go further, because this is where it gets genuinely disturbing. There are stars in the night sky whose light takes hundreds of years to reach us. When you look at those stars, you're seeing them as they were centuries ago. Some of them might not even exist anymore. They could have exploded, collapsed, gone dark, and you'd have no way of knowing because the information about their destruction hasn't reached you yet. You're looking at ghosts, light-year-old images of things that may no longer be there. And here's the part that should stop you cold. The same logic applies to you. Right now, somewhere in the universe, there are observers for whom you are a ghost. Observers for whom the light that carries information about your existence is still traveling toward them. For those observers, you as you are right now don't exist yet. You're still in their future. And for other observers much further away, even the light from your birth hasn't reached them. For those beings, you haven't been born yet. And for observers in between, you exist at various points in your past, different versions of you at different ages, at different moments of your life, each one the current you from the perspective of some observer at the right distance. Which one is the real you? Which moment is actually now? This is not a trick question. It's one of the deepest questions in physics. And Einstein's answer was the one that changed everything. According to special relativity, there is no universal now. There is no single present moment that applies to everyone everywhere. Simultaneity is relative. Two events that are simultaneous for one observer are not simultaneous for another observer moving at a different velocity. This isn't a limitation of our instruments. This isn't an approximation. This is the fundamental structure of space-time. The present moment is observer-dependent. Your now and my now are not the same now, and both of ours are valid. Both of ours are physically real. Neither one is more correct than the other. And this leads to something called the block universe, one of the most profound and most unsettling ideas in all of physics. If there's no universal present, if every observer has their own valid now, then past, present, and future must all exist simultaneously. The universe is not a story unfolding in time. It's a complete four-dimensional structure, a block. every moment that has ever existed and every moment that will ever exist, all of it present simultaneously in the geometry of space-time. You are not moving through time. Time is not flowing. You are a four-dimensional object, a long, thin thread of events stretching from your birth to your death, all of it existing at once in the block. The you of 10 years ago exists. The you of 10 years from now exists. The you of this exact moment exists. All of them equally real, all of them equally present in the block universe. None of them more real than the others. Now stop and feel what that means. The you that existed yesterday is not gone. It exists at yesterday's coordinates in the block universe, permanent, unchangeable, eternally present at that location in space-time. The you that will exist tomorrow already exists at tomorrow's coordinates. You haven't reached it yet in your subjective experience, but it's there, already fixed, already real, already written into the geometry of the universe. You are not a present moment moving through time. You are a complete object, a world line, a trajectory through four dimensions that already exists in its entirety. From the perspective of the block universe, you are already everything you will ever be, and you have already done everything you will ever do, not metaphorically, geometrically, physically, as a fact about the structure of space-time. But here's where quantum mechanics makes this even stranger, even more personal, even more disturbing. In quantum mechanics, the present moment has a problem. The problem is that it doesn't quite exist the way you think it does. Quantum mechanics tells us that particles don't have definite properties until they're measured. An electron doesn't have a definite position. It exists in a superposition of all possible positions simultaneously. Only when you interact with it, only when you measure it, does it collapse to a specific location. In your brain, the thing that creates your sense of being present, of being here, of being now, your brain is made of these quantum particles, and trillions of them, each one smeared across a range of possible states, each one without a definite position until something forces it to choose. The solid, definite, clearly present you that you're so certain about is built from quantum uncertainty all the way down. The certainty is emergent. It arises from the interaction of enormous numbers of quantum systems in a process called decoherence. Your sense of being a definite present person, of existing clearly and solidly right now, that's decoherence at work, not fundamental reality, a consequence of scale, of complexity, of the way quantum uncertainty averages out across trillions of particles. Strip away the scale, go down to the fundamental level, and the definite present you dissolves into probability clouds, into superpositions, into quantum states that don't have a clear location in time any more than they have a clear location in space. Now let me bring all of this together, because the full picture is more unsettling than any single piece of it. You are already dead because the present moment is not what it seems. The you that you experience as now is already in the past of every observer moving away from you. The you that exists right now is already receding into history from the perspective of light traveling away from you in every direction. The you of 1 second ago is already a ghost to a photon that left your body 1 second ago and is now 1 light second away. And from the block universe perspective, there is no alive or dead. There is no present or past. There is only the four-dimensional object that is you, complete, eternal, already finished, already there. The beginning and the end, both equally real, equally present in the geometry of space-time. Does this mean you should feel dead? Obviously not. Your subjective experience is real. Your consciousness, whatever it is happening. You are experiencing this moment. That experience is genuine. But here's what physics tells us about what that experience actually is. It's a local phenomenon. It's happening at one specific coordinate in the block universe, at one specific configuration of quantum states in your brain. It feels like the only real moment. It feels like now. But that feeling is the product of your particular location in space-time. Every other moment that you have ever experienced felt equally real, equally now, when you were at that coordinate. And they were. They were all equally now, equally real, equally present from within themselves. The present moment is not special. It just feels special from inside it. And that is perhaps the most disorienting thing physics has ever told us about ourselves. Not that we're small, not that we're temporary, but that the boundary between alive and dead, between existing and not existing, between now and then, is not a fundamental feature of the universe. It's a feature of our perspective, our location, our particular coordinate in the four-dimensional block. From outside that perspective, from the view of the block universe, the distinction between the living you and the dead you is just the difference between two coordinates in space-time, both equally real, both equally present, both equally there, forever. So are you already dead? In the deepest physical sense, yes. The future version of you that no longer exists already exists in the block. The past version of you that seems gone is still there at its coordinate, and the present version of you that feels so immediate, so undeniable, so obviously alive, is already becoming the past version for every observe are moving away from you right now, at the speed of light, in every direction, carrying the image of you in this moment out into the universe forever. You are already dead. You are also permanently alive. At every moment you have ever existed, frozen into the geometry of space-time, eternal, unchangeable. There, physics doesn't promise you heaven, but it does promise you this. Every moment you have ever lived is permanently written into the fabric of the universe. The universe does not erase you. It archives you. And that archive is forever. That might not be the immortality you hoped for, but it's the one the mathematics actually guarantees. And after 50 years of doing physics, I find that stranger and more beautiful than anything else I know.